Hi everyone, it's Joanne again. So, what do pears, eggplant, and quinoa have in common? Okay, give up? Well, nothing really, except for the fact that these were some of the foods that I was sensitive to. Foods that cause inflammation in my gut, meaning that whenever I would eat them, especially pears, I'd end up feeling like my stomach was on fire. My joints were swollen and it was like I had the flu. It was absolutely the worst. Now, you've probably heard a lot recently about inflammation. Basically, how certain foods can cause inflammation in your gut, which can lead to an abundance of health troubles. But despite all the new attention, the concept of food-induced inflammation isn't new at all. Food allergies, which you've probably heard a lot about, are a form of food-induced inflammation. What is relatively new to people is the focus of inflammation as it relates to food sensitivities or food intolerances. And we're not just talking about lactose intolerance here, which is probably the food intolerance that you're most used to hearing about. So I wanted to shoot a quick video to cover 3 facts that you should know about food sensitivities. Fact number 1, food sensitivities are not food allergies. Yes, they are both forms of food-induced inflammation, and they both negatively impact the immune system, but there are key differences that you should know about. Number 1, sensitivities are usually dose-dependent, meaning a spoon of peanut butter may not cause any problems, but a cup may. That's not usually the case for allergies, as people with peanut allergies can attest. It can take very little contact with peanuts to get a reaction. Here's a second difference between food allergies and food sensitivities. Reactions to sensitivities can be delayed by hours or even days, while allergic reactions are usually immediate, meaning it's possible to eat that spoon of peanut butter today and not feel anything for a couple of days. By the time you get the migraine or joint pains or any other symptoms, you would have had several meals in between, which makes it impossible to detect the root cause. The third difference between food allergies and food sensitivities that I want to talk about is that food sensitivities can range anywhere between 10 to 20 plus foods. Allergies are usually limited to 1 to 2. So cutting out a few foods in the hopes of identifying the cause of your inflammation is likely to not yield many results. Fact number 2, food sensitivities are specific to each person, and healthy foods can be part of the problem. We're often told to adopt diets that refrain from certain things like sugar, certain starches, and dairy even to prevent inflammation. While there are certain foods that are more likely to cause inflammation than others, avoiding these foods alone may not stop inflammation due to sensitivities. That is because sensitivities are unique to each person, and it's possible to be sensitive to foods that are generally considered healthy. So, a general avoid these type of foods diet is likely to not work against symptoms caused by food sensitivities. Take me for example. Quinoa is one of the better foods you can eat. I often recommend it to my clients as an alternative grain to processed rice and wheat because of its high protein and fiber content. But a few years ago, when I was going through my issues with inflammation, I discovered that quinoa was one of the foods causing my symptoms. So for someone like me, just avoiding certain bad foods wouldn't have helped at all. Fact number 3, food sensitivities can cause a leaky gut and can be caused by a leaky gut. First, what's a leaky gut? Well, a leaky gut is basically where the lining of the intestinal tract becomes so permeable or thinned out that undigested food, bacteria, and toxins are able to leak into the bloodstream. Obviously, this isn't good because the body has to fight off these intruders, which can lead to inflammation. There are several ways that you can end up with a leaky gut. Stress and bacterial infection are 2 known causes. In either case, once your gut is compromised, you can develop sensitivities to foods that you previously had no issues with. Similarly, continuing to eat foods that you're sensitive to can also lead to a leaky gut. Just as with the other causes, the gut is damaged, leading to toxins getting into the bloodstream, which leads to inflammation, which leads to additional sensitivities, and more gut damage, which leads to more inflammation, and so on. In this sense, the relationship between food sensitivities and leaky gut can be an endless cycle. So that's it for now. Hopefully you learned something about food sensitivities and inflammation. If you have any questions, be sure to comment or send me an email at the address below. As always, please subscribe to my page. See you guys next time. Bye.